Tubies. Hey, this is Psychic Bob. Look what I found yesterday. I was cleaning house. I thought I lost this pendant and I found it. And this is one of my little fairy pendants. I put it here on my chain. Hold on, the chain's tangled. But hopefully you can see this. It's a little fairy. She's got beautiful wings. She's done in pewter, I think. Is this silver? No, this one's pewter. It looks a lot like antique silver. I put it on a silver chain. I don't know if you can mix pewter and silver, but I do. And anyways, I just wanted to show it to you because we're going to talk a little bit about some fairy magic today, some ways to work with the fae. So come on along. One of the ways to work with the fae is to use their sacred symbols. And one of the sacred symbols of the fae is known as the fairy star, also called the Elven Star or the septagram. It's a mystical 7-pointed star. Let me put up an image here of the fairy star for you to look at. Check this out. So as you can see, the fairy star, or the 7-pointed star, is a mystical symbol. It invokes the power of the fae. Anyways, we're going to read a little bit from this book today called Fairycraft, Following the Path of Fairy Witchcraft. This is by Morgan Daimler, who is also here on YouTube. I found her channel. I'll put her link below. But anyways, this is a fascinating book that I've been working on. I got to tell you, it looks beautiful and sweet, but it's kind of an intense read. It's not light reading. It's very in-depth. But I thought we'd read a little bit from this today. So let's check out about the fairy star. Symbols, the fairy star. Many faiths have a symbol that represent them. For the Wiccans, it's the pinnacle. For heathens, the Thor's hammer. For many druids, it's the triskel. Although the older fairy faith has no unifying symbol, in fairy witchcraft, it's the fairy star or septagram. This 7-pointed star is used, much as other religious symbols are, to represent personal faith in that path, and also as a sign of protection, blessing, and connection. The fairy star, as with most things a fairy, has layers of symbolism to it. Each point, so I was told, represents one of the 7 permanent gates into the world of fairy, as opposed to the innumerable temporary ones. Each point is also symbolic of 7 qualities to nurture for good relations with the other crowd. Hospitality, generosity, kindness, compassion, courage, politeness, and adventurousness. In addition, each represents one of the 7 directions: north, east, south, west, above, below, and center. The 7-pointed star is also used in other systems and groups for different purposes. So one cannot assume that a person wearing one or otherwise using this symbol necessarily follows fairy witchcraft. However, those who do may choose to see the symbol in much the same way. However, those who do may choose to use this symbol in much the same way as Wiccans and some witches use the pinnacle, which I have been doing with it for about 15 years or so now. It can be worn or drawn on objects for protection, for example, or traced over items, people, or places for blessing. Isn't that wonderful? So this is a very powerful magical symbol. I would encourage you to check out this book. I'm not being endorsed by the author or publisher, but it's called Fairy Witchcraft, and it's by Morgan Daimler. I have the links below for her YouTube page. You know, I'm a big believer in the fae, and I've had some pretty amazing experiences with them in meditation and scrying, and so I'm a believer in them. So here's my fairy pendant as I showed you earlier. But just to kind of illustrate the magical symbol a little better, this is a Wiccan pinnacle. This is the 5-pointed star, which many of you know I'm crazy about. This is one of my pendants done in sterling silver, and I think it's just really beautiful. Next to it here is the fairy star. This is also done in sterling silver. This is a 7-pointed star. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points on that. If you count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yes, they look somewhat similar, but they're also different. So if you wanted to work with the fae as part of your spiritual practice, you might want to get like a little fairy pendant, or you could even, get a Wiccan fairy star like I have. Now, it doesn't have to be silver. They make them in all sorts of things. You can buy wooden ones, pewter ones, silver ones, ceramic ones. They make them in all different materials, but this is my sterling silver one. So there you go. Now, as Morgan has said in her book, she said that this symbol can also be used in other ways, can be traced on objects or people or places to bring blessing. So let's explore that now, shall we? Now, one of the quickest and simplest ways to work with this magical fairy star is to make a little simple paper charm. Now, for those of you who have studied the fae, or you may know, or maybe you don't know, green is considered a sacred color of the fae. So today we're going to make our charms on green paper. Now, all you need to do this is a piece of green paper. You can buy construction paper at pretty much any store. And you need either a marker, or in this case, we're also going to use a green crayon. So some type of marking device, whatever you feel called to. But see if you can get a green paper. If you can't get green paper, you can use white paper, and an option would be to try to get a green marker or crayon as well. So there are a few ways to do this. Now, as I want to kind of bless different rooms in my house, I'm going to make multiple charms today out of one piece of paper. Okay, so what we're going to first do is we're going to start and we're going to subdivide the paper. So we're going to just fold the paper in half and make a nice crease along it. Okay, it's hard to do this and hold the camera. Okay, and then we're going to fold it in half the other way. Now, depending on how many charms you want to make, you can fold the paper many times as you want. We're going to keep these charms fairly large, so I'm only doing 4 folds, but you'll see that then subdivides our paper into a nice little quadrant of different sections. Forgive me guys, I don't have my tripod, so this is going to be hard to film. I've got my camera kind of jerry-rigged here, but hopefully you can see this. I'll try to make it so you can see it. So then we want to trace our fairy star. Now this is a little different than the pentagram because its angles are tighter. But I'm going to trace one for you and see if you can follow it. All right, so we're going to go up, down, across, up, and down. Oops, I might have to do it. Do you see that? So there is our fairy star. Really simple. Notice how the angles are tight and there are 7 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there you go. Now, what we want to do is replicate that on each quadrant. Okay, so we'll put another one over here. Okay, and see, here is another fairy star. And you want to go on and put one in each box of your paper. Now remember, we've only done 4 here, but you could fold this and make little 1-inch charms and have like, 10 across, end up having 100 stars. So again, do it as you want to do it. Okay, so now we have our 4 stars in each of our quadrants. Now, with this, you can get as elaborate as you want. Today, I just traced these in black, but we could also, for example, take our crayons, color them, add some design, decor. Maybe we'll do a little bit of that. I felt some bright orange would really look cool on this fairy star today. So I'm adding some orange. Now remember, you can do whatever colors are inspiring you. So, but we're adding a little bright orange to our charm here. Maybe we'll add some more colors. So now I decided to add a little bit of a magenta to this. And so you can see it's adding more color and making it more dramatic. Now, you know, be as creative and as free as you want to be. You can add any colors you want. If you wanted, you could even add some glitter to the star, sprinkle glitter on it. You know, maybe use some clear glue, outline and put glitter on it. You are unlimited with what you can do. And so, as you can see, for practically no money, just a piece of paper and some crayons, we've actually made some magical, powerful symbols. Now, today, because I don't have time to do all of these, but I just did one star to show you how you could think about making your charm. Now, after you finish designing all of your charms, and by the way, they don't have to all be alike. They can be as individual and unique as you want. But when you feel like you've got all your stars ready, then you want to get some scissors and cut along the folds. For the sake of brevity, you can just fold the paper up and then cut them. Okay, and so you can see we've already halfway finished it. Okay, and what you'll end up with are 4 separate magical fairy stars. Okay, oops, hold on. Let's get these all together. All right. Now, it may just be me. I like my point up. You know, in Wicca, we have the point up. Now, you can wear these or display them. I've seen people have them upside down, 2 points up or 1. I don't think in the fairy tradition it's so significant as it is in the Wiccan tradition, but if you're a Wiccan and you practice the Fae faith, you probably want to have 1 point up. Just my personal belief. So, and now you've got 4 amazing charms. And then you can simply put these around your house wherever you want. I've run out of tape, but I was going to tape one on my front door, but I can't do that right today. But that's okay. I've got a little thumbtack here, a little push pin. And see, you can see I put it up here on the wall. Now you could put these, you know, on your doors or over your doors. You know, you could even frame them and put them around your altar. So many ways you can use your magical star. But you see, you don't have to spend a lot of money because you can go out and buy. They do sell, for those of you who have a lot of money, you can buy beautiful plaques with this star, like hand-burned wood plaques. And if you have the money and want to buy that, I think that's great. You know, we should support our local artisans and our fellow Wiccans and crafters. But if you don't, you know, you can still make these things for yourself and they'll be just as powerful and bless your house. And then I suppose the final thing that you probably would want to do is to do an invocation of consecration for your new charm. So it goes something like this. Taking our magical wand in hand, we want to just trace over the star. And as you do it, visualize it being infused with brilliant green light. Green is the magical Fae color. You could do white light or green, but green is traditional Fae colors. So you would trace over the star and you would say, "Here this fairy star I lay, for blessing and protection by night, by day. So mote it be." By the way, I always do, when I do the pinnacle bless, I always put the circle around it. You can also make your fairy stars within a circle. I didn't do it today, but that's another option. Of course, that takes a little more skill. But yes, you can put them inside a circle as well, just like the pentacles in a circle. So there you go. There's our magical Fae star. Well, guys, I have had such a good time being here with you today and sharing this little bit of magic. Tell me in the info box below, have you ever worked with the fairies? Have you had a fairy encounter yourself? And have you ever used the fairy star? Do you wear a fairy star? Let's have a discussion. Tell me about your fairy star and fairy experiences in the box below. Well, guys, thank you for being here. I've had such a great time today. Listen, help me out. Like this video, favorite it, share it with your friends, and hit subscribe. Be part of our channel. We would love for you to be here. Also, if you want to get on my schedule for a private reading, give me a call. 703-825-3929 is my phone number. That's in the info box below. Or write to me in my official email, PsychicBobHickman@gmail.com. That link will also be below. And if you want to get in on my psychic development class, which will be starting in July, send me an email to my official email. Again, PsychicBobHickman@gmail.com. That link will be below. You guys rock. I love you. Thanks for being here, and may the Fae bless you all. We'll see you back here tomorrow for Vlog Thursday. I don't know where we're going, but we'll have an adventure. Make sure to be here. We'll see you then. Love you guys. Blessed be.